Q4 Sales Success Masterclass. So, what's this all about? How to get people to buy from you today 100% as their own idea without any selling. So, without any detectable selling. That's what this is about. Okay. Because today's buyers, as you all know, ladies and gentlemen, today's buyers are wise to a sales pitch. They can spot a sales pitch a mile away. So this is about undetectable selling, getting people to buy, inspiring the buy instead of the old school way, which was closing the sale. Right, this is about 21st century selling, 21st century persuasion. So, what are my goals? Well, my goals are to help you instantly get more people buying from you without any of the traditional sales tactics that today's buyers are wise to. Okay, I'm going to teach you 9 new 21st century skills of stealth persuasion, which I call Inception selling, to remove all the heavy lifting of convincing people, of trying to convince and persuade people, which is heavy lifting. That's you doing all the work. I'm going to give you a way to effortlessly master these new skills so that you can go into 2025 with the mindset, skill set, and tool set for sales success. Now, tap in your number one goal for today. Your number one goal that you've got, you want to take away, your most important takeaway you want to get in the next hour, and be super specific. What is it you want to achieve? Just tap that in the chat, guys, to me. Right, I've got a few coming through now. Okay. Yeah. New skills to teach. Get over a bad run of sales appointments. I've got some others coming in as well about overcoming objections and about dealing with price issues and price objections. And right, they're all starting to come through now. Okay, good stuff. So that's your one goal. That's your one goal that you want to take away from today. Let's see how we get on in delivering that to you guys and girls. Okay, who am I? That's the first thing, because many of you here won't know me or might be connected to me, but we've never spoken before. I'm known as the number one virtual sales coach and copywriter in the UK. I'm based in Bali, and I've got over 10 years proven global sales coaching success and experience since leaving my 25-year sales career back in 2013. I'm a lifetime salesman. My career sales are over 100 million in personal career sales, and I've led over 10,000 sales professionals in my career to sell over 1 billion in sales in 4 decades. I'm also a NLP master practitioner, a graduate of the Tony Robbins Mastery University, and a certified Myers-Briggs personality profiling coach. I've been a lifetime student of persuasion and success, personal development, and that's been super central and pivotal in the success I've achieved and helped others to achieve. So what does all that mean? It means you're safe with me. It means you're going to get something of value in the next hour that you can take away and you can use immediately. It means I'm talking from experience and not from theory. Okay. Most sales advice these days is regurgitated crap that doesn't help. It's not based on reality and it's not proven. This is different. This is the real deal. Okay. So what you're about to learn is you're about to learn 9 inception secrets that will instantly inspire dream clients to buy from you 100% as their own idea without selling. Plus 7 copy inception secrets that get dream clients to stop scrolling and that start clicking your CTAs. All without the efforts of convincing, persuading, and using old school BS sales tactics that you secretly hate. Now, where's this come from, Inception selling? It's come from the movie Inception. That's what inspired this concept. What's the most resilient parasite? An idea. An idea can change lives. Once it's in your head, you can't get rid of it. That's from this quote from Cobb in the movie Inception 2010. And that's what Inception selling is all about. It's about planting the idea in your counterpart or your prospect's mind so that when they buy, it's their idea, that it grows in their mind and becomes their idea. They have a sense of authorship to act, and they feel like they've bought instead of being sold. That makes all the difference. Okay, so let's get straight into it. So the Inception 9, what are they? Okay, so as you can see, we've got the Inception acronym here, INCEPTION, the Inception acronym. And these are 9 skills, 9 techniques, okay, that absolutely are proven and will get people buying as their own idea. Many of them are a complete flip of the script on traditional sales techniques that used to work back in the 1900s but don't work in the 21st century. This is all about inspiring the buy instead of closing the sale. Okay, we want buyers to sell themselves and to persuade themselves. Okay, so the I in Inception is about selling to the instincts first and the identity before we do anything else. Okay, and this is about achieving authentic rapport. Traditional old school way of establishing rapport was to find common ground, small talk, find something you could talk about, right? And something in their house or something in their office that you could talk about, or whether it's just the weather or current affairs or whatever. That doesn't work today. You might have some people that will play along with it out of politeness, but that doesn't work. They know it's bullshit. You don't mean it. You're not interested, and neither are they. So what builds genuine rapport? First of all, well, there's 3 things here, right? There's 3 techniques that absolutely get you started on genuine, authentic rapport, which is automatic, okay? Proven by neuroscience. It's automatic. You don't need to use any overt techniques. This is proven biology and psychology, okay? First one is intention. When you mentally rehearse what you're going to do, your process, when you mentally rehearse that process successfully working with your prospect, and you mentally rehearse the harmony, you mentally rehearse the relationship going well, you mentally rehearse each of the steps going well, working well, and you mentally rehearse a positive conclusion, shaking hands on a deal, and you mentally rehearse that intention, and you go in with the right benevolent intention based on working together, that shows in your energy. Okay, that leads to the second one, which is emotion transfer. Before you go into any sales situation, Zig Ziglar said this 100 years ago, that sales is at its core a transfer of emotion. And that's since been proven by quantum physics and neuroscience, that the first thing you sell is your state. That's the first thing you say, automatically, whatever state you're in. Salesman that goes into a sales call feeling anxious, customers feel anxious. Triggers fight or flight in the customers. They don't feel safe. Salesman goes in feeling fear, customers feel fearful. Salesperson goes in feeling angry, arrogant, whatever, customer feels the same, they feel irritated. Salesman goes in feeling gratitude, customer feels gratitude. It happens automatically. Mirror neurons in our brain mirror the emotion of the people that we meet. Okay, so that emotion transfer happens instantly. You couple that with a positive mental rehearsal of everything working well, couple that with creating the right emotion in you that you want to create in them, how you want them to feel. You go in feeling that. That instantly triggers the same emotions in your counterpart. Okay, it's easy to dismiss this as new age woo woo, but I'm telling you, this is proven by neuroscience and it works. And the third piece of building authentic rapport is to mirror their personality style. Okay, mirror the personality style. Okay. So the way they speak, the volume of their speech, the tonality of their speech, the speed of their speech, the movement, how animated they are, their energy, mirror it. Don't copy every move they make, but mirror their general energy and personality style in the way they're interacting with you. Okay. You mirror that. What happens is there's subconscious rapport. They subconsciously feel, I like this person. He's like me. She's like me. They get me. And that's the first sale that takes place. The first sale that takes place is to their instinct and their identity. Am I safe with this person? Does this person match with me? Are they my kind of person? Am I safe with them? Do I like them? And those three techniques there are nothing to do with things you have to say or pre-rehearsed words and phrases or trying to find something that's common ground so you can get them to like you. None of that. This is basic neuroscience. So that's the I. Okay, those three skills will now none of these 9 skills will independently on their own completely transform your sales on their own independently. They won't. But when added together, the combination, the combined effect of these 9 skills will make all the difference. They will get people buying. It makes your selling invisible. Nothing about that first step, the I, instincts and identity, is visible selling. It's all automated psychology. Okay. The next one is the N, which is no calibrated questions. Okay. And these are questions that are designed to get your prospects saying no, not yes. Because traditionally we've been taught ask questions that get them to say yes, haven't we? That's what we've been taught. And guess what? Buyers, whether it's B2C or B2B, buyers have cottoned onto it. Buyers know what we're doing. When we're repeatedly trying to get them to say yes, 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 they used to call it yes tags or yes momentum. I was taught it at 19 back in 1990. Tom Hopkins, I read his book. It was all about, isn't it? Wasn't it? Don't you? Can't you? Yes, 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 yes. And back then it worked in the old days, but it doesn't work now. People can tell, right? So the trick now in Inception selling the way is to ask them questions that get them saying no, but it's a positive no. For instance, would it be a crazy idea for us to try this? Would it be a crazy idea for us to jump on a call? No, it wouldn't. Is this a bad time to talk? No, it's not a bad time to talk. Do you have any objection to us trying this? Do you have any objection to giving this a go? Are you against learning more? No, no, no. You're asking for a no, but the no is a positive no. The no is thumbs up. Yes, it's a flip of the script. Why does it work? Because when you give somebody the opportunity to say no, they feel like they're giving you permission. They feel like they're choosing to give you permission. I don't see why not. No, I've got no objection to that. That's not a crazy idea. No, I'm not against learning. I'm not against doing a trial. I'm not against giving it a go. I'm not against booking one call and see how it goes. I'm not against trying it out your offer. I'm not against. I have no objections to. Yeah, all that stuff comes from a place of I'm being allowed to make a decision. Okay, bit more on this later, but that's at the end. Dead simple, but and write them down. So think about your sales presentation, and everywhere you've got in your current sales presentation, questions where you want them to say yes. Flip the script, turn it into a question that allows them to say or invites them to say no, but the no is a positive no. Okay, let's move on to the C. The C is closing at the start. Okay, now why do so many salespeople, why does everybody get objections and people are obsessed with objections and um, obsessed with the techniques to close the sale at the end? And all the objections come at the end. So all the pain happens for the customer because they get the big price at the end as well. And they have all the objections and all the excuses come. So all the pain happens at the end. Why? It shouldn't. That's why so many buyers hate buying and hate salespeople, because they're rehearsed, they're building up all their anxiety as they're building because they know what's coming at the end. That's because too many salespeople, most salespeople, 9 out of 10 salespeople close in the wrong place. They close at the end instead of closing at the start. So you start by getting an agreement. Right, what's your, so just a little 1 minute role play of that. So good to meet you today. I'm glad we agreed to put this time aside together. Now, what motivated you to meet with me today? John. Okay, you get their motives, their goals. Okay, and what's the number one thing you want to accomplish in our time together today? You get their number one goal, just like I did at the start of this call with you guys. Okay, right, now how long have you set aside for us to achieve that? Great, now you're getting their buy into an agenda and some time with you to achieve their goals, not yours. Then you say, okay, all right, and what questions have you got for me? What would you like me to show you? What would you like me to question? What would you like me to answer for you? What would you like me to demonstrate and give you? What would you like to see from me today? And what questions have you got? And you start getting all the questions and everything written down before you go into any presenting. This way, you're getting them talking about their motives and intentions. They feel seen, heard, and empathically understood. You're giving them a feeling of power. You're giving them a feeling of control. And that's what 21st century buyers want. That's what makes them trust you. Okay, we're still selling to the instinctual brain, which is the first brain that we need to sell to. We need to get them feeling safe and trusting us before we go to the emotional brain. Then we go to the logical brain. Okay, most salespeople just sell to the logical brain. Some sell to the emotional and logical brain. Very few, 1 in 10 maximum, sell to the instinctual brain, the emotional brain, the logical brain. People that do, especially this way, with Inception, they make the most sales and convert inside of 1 in 2 of all of their appointments, of all of their presentations. So let's go back. You would then agree an agenda with them. Right, let's put a little game plan together for our meeting to achieve your goals, to answer all your questions, give you everything you want to see. This is what I think we should do. Boom, 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 boom. How does that sound to you? Does that sound like it covers all the bases for you? Terrific. And this is where you then close at the start. Right. And one thing I promise you is if I can't help you, if at any point I have any doubt that I can help you solve your problems and achieve your goals, if I've got any doubts, I'll tell you straight, I can't help you. Equally, if at any time you've got any doubts that we're the right fit and that I can help you, you don't think I'm right for you, don't think my solution's right, have you got any problem saying no to me? No, I've got no problem saying no to you. Again, you're using the no calibrated question, so that comes back in. You got any problem saying no to me? No. So, okay, good. And if we don't say no to each other, if we both feel that this is the good fit and that the solution's right for you, and we both agree it's a good idea, does it make sense for us to book a definite next step? To agree a definite next step? Yes. You just closed at the start. You've closed on a no or yes, no or next step agreement right at the start. By doing that, you remove all fear of being sold to. You remove the fear because you've told them they're allowed to say no. And when somebody feels safe saying no to you, the need for them to sell you a think about it dissolves. That's how you dissolve think about it objections and all that nonsense or excuses and stalls and polite lies and alibis, which come out at the end because they don't feel safe saying no to you. They don't want to offend you. What this does at the start is it makes them feel safe saying no, safe being honest. You close at the start. Okay? Those first three skills, I, N, and C, in Inception, are selling to the instinctual and identity brain, making them feel safe, making them feel in control, making them feel a sense of power. But beauty here is you're the one with the control. You're in the driving seat. They just feel like they are. You're guiding. This is stealth persuasion. Stealth meaning it's unseen. Okay, let's move on now to the next three, which is the EP and T and Inception, which is selling to the emotional brain. Okay, to the emotional brain of the buyer, which is the decision maker. The emotional brain is the brain that makes all the decisions. Okay, so let's talk about those skills. The E is eliminate the status quo. What does that mean? Well, the number one reason people won't buy from you is not another competitor. It's not another person, not another company. It's not even another. It's not even another person. It's an idea. The number one reason people will not buy from you is they stay as they are. They think they're safe to do nothing. They stick with status quo. I'm going to do nothing for now. Just wait. See how it goes. That's the number one reason people don't act. So before you try and sell them on your solution, you need to sell them on the fact that doing nothing is not an option. They need to convince themselves. They need to have that epiphany themselves. I can't stay as I am. I can't afford just to do nothing here. I've got to take some action. That's the first sale that you need to make. Well, the first sale is you sell your state. The second sale is to sell them on taking action with somebody before that you even try and convince them that you're the right one. Taking action is the first sale. You can't stay as you are, can you? No, but they need to realize that. You can't tell them that. They need to discover that for themselves. How do you do it? You do it with a P2P gap discovery, a pain to pleasure gap discovery. Okay, just go back here. Just inadvertently clicked. There you go. You do that with a P2B gap discovery, pain to pleasure. You create a gap between where they are and where they want to be. You ask them questions which open their awareness to the fact that there is a gap between where they are right now in the current pain state and where they want to be, which is the future desired outcome state, the pleasure state, pain to pleasure. The bigger that psychological gap between where they are and where they want to be, the more the tension, the greater that psychological gap, the more the desire is to solve it, the more the urgency to solve it is, and that comes from them. The urgency comes from them, not from you, but from them. And the more value there is in getting across the gap from where they are to where they want to be. The bigger the gap, the bigger the psychological gap, the more they want to solve it, the quicker they want to solve it, and the more they're willing to pay to solve it. How do you do that? You do that with what I call a perfect discovery. Perfect is 7 letters, is it? Yes, it is. Perfect. I like my acronyms, as you know. Perfect discovery. P is the problem. E is the effects of the problem. R is the root cause of the problem. F is the fixes they've tried. E is the emotions, how it feels. And C is the cost of inaction or the consequences of inaction. And T is where you do a trial close. Perfect. Let me just quickly run you through them. So the P is right. What's the number one problem when it comes to your windows? You're selling double glazing, your current kitchen, or if you're when it comes to your online presence. If you're talking about you're selling websites, whatever. If it's for me, when I'm talking about sales, to people say, well, what's the number one sales problem that you'd regret not solving 6 months from now? Whatever your product is that you're selling, whatever your solution, you put that in where I say sales. What's the number one sales problem you'd regret not solving 6 months from now? You replace the word sales with your product or your solution, right? What's the number one problem you'd regret not solving 6 months from now? It's a killer question. What's the one I'd regret not solving? And then they'll tell you, say, right, why would you regret not solving it? Okay, now you're into it. You've got the problem. Now you're into the effects. How does that problem affect you right now? What's the impact on a day-to-day basis? How does it affect your life, your business? You get the effect, you get the impact of the problem. You get them telling you, because persuasion doesn't happen when you're talking. That's old school stuff. We used to believe that the better we were at talking, the more people would buy. And back in the 80s and 90s, it worked. But today, people buy when they're talking. They persuade themselves when they're talking. When we're talking, they're talking inside that. Not listen, they're talking inside their head. And they're probably disagreeing with us, because if they're agreeing, they're nodding and saying, that's right, they agree. But if they're saying nothing, they're disagreeing. So we want them to do the talking, right? So they talk about the problem. Then we'll get them talking about the effects of the problem, the day-to-day impact. And then we'll go into the root cause. When did it start? When did this problem first start? How did it start? What caused it? What made you not want to solve it way back then? What was the thought that you had, which was like, oh, I don't need to solve this right now? With hindsight, would you, if you could rewind the tape, would you stick with that decision, or would you have solved it? See what you're doing? You're waking them up to the problems that they become desensitized to. Because the problems that your clients are living with now, unless you get them talking about them big time before you present any solutions, they don't feel much pain. How big's a problem if you're not talking about it? How big's a problem if you're not thinking about it? It doesn't exist if you're not thinking about it. We want to get them talking about it. They become desensitized to their pain. We do. You're living right now, you guys. You're living with problems in your life that used to really piss you off, but you just got day to day. You've got used to living with. We're resilient creatures, so you got used to living with them. You put up with so much, and whatever the salespeople you meet each day, if whatever, we've got to think, right, what problems are these people's? Have they stopped thinking about, or have they tolerated? Are they just accepting? And they've forgotten how much it hurts and inconveniences and bothers them and bugs them, and it is affecting them, costing them time, costing them money, costing them peace of mind. We want to get them rediscovering the true pain they're in. We're not trying to create pain that doesn't exist. What we're doing is we're getting them to tell the truth. So we go back to the root cause, which I've just demonstrated. Then we talk about the fixes. What have you tried to do to fix it so far? And how have those solutions worked? And how much have you spent on those? And how much time have those taken? You're walking them back through the timeline of the problem, its impact today, the root causes, why they didn't solve it, how long it's been going on, what they've tried to do to solve it, how that didn't work, how much they've spent trying to solve it. And then you talk about the C, that in the C is the cost of inaction. What happens if you do nothing? Before you try to sell them the idea of doing something, of acting, talk about not acting. This is another Inception skill. We talk about acting. Oh, you've got to act. You've got to act. That's overt selling. He's trying to convince me. But if we start talking about not acting, they'll go to the opposite and start talking about acting. Right? So what happens if you do nothing? Why does this need solving now? What's important about this, that you solve this right now? How would you benefit if we solved this for you right now? How would it help you day to day? That's the cost of inaction. What's the cost and the consequences of inaction? How does that feel if you do nothing? What does that look like if you just carry on? How much longer can you put up with it? Has this become important enough for you to want to do something about it today? Why? These are killer questions. Killer questions that get them talking and refeeling the problem and discovering. And they have this triggers epiphanies. So your buyers will think, do you know what? I don't know why I'm putting up with this crap. I've been putting up with this for too long. Enough's enough. That's what you want to trigger. That realization that they make themselves, because this is important, this is what I'm going to say now. They won't always believe what you say, but they will never doubt what they conclude. That's Inception. Get them to make the conclusions. Yes? That's the magic. And then you finish with a trial close. Okay, so if we could solve this problem and instantly for good, so immediately for good, and it costs less than the cost of doing nothing. It costs less than the price you're going to pay if you just carry on as you are. Would you hesitate? What you've used there in that trial close, you've used a no calibrated trial close. Not if we could solve this problem and the price was right, would you go ahead? Yes. No. If we could solve the problem and the cost of the solution was less than the cost of doing nothing, was less than the price you're going to continue to pay if you do nothing, would you hesitate? No, I wouldn't. Now, how much selling has taken place in that conversation? Who's been doing the talking? 90% of the talking is them. You're just asking questions. Inception's about the power of questions. Okay, that's how you eliminate the status quo. You get them to eliminate it, and that's the perfect discovery model. PERFECT. Okay, good one. Next is the P, and this is all about getting buyers away from price and into value, getting their mind away from price or cost and into what's the value. Because the way to compare anything is what's the lifetime cost of the solution. We talked about the cost of inaction already. And what you need to do is have a solution that's cheaper than doing nothing. And then you're halfway there. You're halfway there if your solution is cheaper than them staying as they are and doing nothing. Second, about taking action with you. Today's price versus lifetime value, or lifetime price versus lifetime value. Do you have a solution that if people buy cheap, they'll probably buy twice from competitors? I've got a client right now who's a high quality home improvement business. Okay. I'm working with the managing director, his leadership team, and their salespeople. And they've got superb guarantees, the very best product in the marketplace. And the lifetime value of their product in what you'll save on your heating bills and what the windows will add to the value of your property, the lifetime value of that is bigger than today's price. So today's price is 25 grand for the windows. The value over time, well, they'll save 12 grand on the heating bills by having these triple glazed argon filled units in. So 12 grand of the 25 they'll get back. And the other 13 grand will they'll get back, and some in the increased value of their property over the next 20 years. That's a fact. So the lifetime value is bigger than the price. And this is where value is misunderstood. All over social media, you see, got to sell value, got to sell value. Okay, how? Nobody's got the answer to that. I've got it because, like you guys, I'm a lifetime student of success and persuasion, and I'm always learning. Okay. And what I've learned so far, okay, is value. Here's a little value formula for you. Value is the cost of inaction less the cost of action. That's the first piece. So, how much is it going to cost them to if they do nothing and stay as they are? What's the price they're going to pay? What's the cost of your solution? The difference between the two is the first piece of value. The second piece is the ROI, the lifetime value versus the cost of action, today's price. So the lifetime value versus today's price. Lifetime value that they're going to get over time, the long-term impact of your solution working in their life or their business, in the time, the money, and the resources that they'll get back, that they'll save them, the profit that it will create, the savings it will make, all of that added up, less today's price. You've then got two positives. You've got a positive on the cost of inaction less the cost of action, and you've got a positive from the lifetime value versus today's price. And that's two chunks of money. If you can get them to put numbers on it, their numbers, not your numbers, theirs, calculate it with them. You can get them to put money on it. You just got a chunk of value created, the real value based on their circumstances. And then the third piece is the psychological value, which is huge. Okay, and there's three pieces here. The first one is and you need to know this, which of Maslow's hierarchy of needs does your product satisfy? Which one? Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you've got physiological needs, okay, safety needs, okay. Then you've got physiology, the environment. Then you've got safety and security. Then you've got community needs, belonging, okay, being part of society, belonging, interaction with other people, relationships. That's a need. Then you've got esteem, which is your status, the respect you get. And then the highest level is self-actualization. That's having a purpose, having meaning in your life, living your meaning. Which of those needs does your product satisfy? The second one is the six human needs, which was popularized by Tony Robbins. And that's a little bit more of a psychological needs than Maslow's. And that is, which of these needs does your product satisfy? Certainty. Certainty in their life or their business. Variety. Significance. Growth. Love and belonging, or contribution. Which of those does your product satisfy? You have to know this because you can talk about them when you talk about how else is it going to benefit you. You're going to get the financial value over time, but what's the emotional value? How's it going to affect your life or your business? How's it going to make you feel day to day? And by the way, people, none of us ever buy products or services. We don't buy things. We buy feelings. We buy feelings. There's always a feeling at the end of every buying decision. So you need to understand what feelings you've got to be talking about. So understand which of the six human needs. And finally, OSP is something called one sentence persuasion. And this is a little nugget I learned from a book from a guy called Blair Warren. Awesome. And this is one sentence which summarizes and totally captures how to inspire people in emotion in terms of emotionally. And it is, people will do anything for those who encourage their dreams, justify their failures, allay their fears, confirm their suspicions, and help them throw rocks at their enemies. That's 27 words, one sentence. All of persuasion is captured in that, especially Inception is captured in that. Encourage their dreams, justify their failures, confirm their suspicions, allay their fears, and help them throw rocks at their enemies. That, guys, is how you establish value over price. Super powerful. It takes some practice. You need to sit down with your product and think about how that formula creates value for your prospects, for your customers. Okay. So again, this second row here, the first row is about selling to the instinctual and identity brain. Okay, the amygdala, otherwise known as the lizard brain, our oldest, most fundamental survival brain. That's the top row, making them feel safe and in control. Second row is the emotional brain, the decider. This is where all the emotion is built. The third section in the second line for selling to the emotional brain is sell the transformation before you sell the transportation. What do I mean by that? Sell the transformation before you sell the transformation. Well, too many salespeople sell the products before they've sold the impact of the products. They sell the journey before they sell the destination. You do a demonstration before they sell what the end result is. And buyers are interested first and foremost, what's the end result? What's the outcome? The outcome must come first. So don't do a product demonstration before you've totally demonstrated the outcome, the transformation, right? It's like, if you're going to go on holiday, okay? Travel agents don't hide the photographs of the beach and videos of the pool and the beautiful resort. That's the first thing they show you. That's the first thing you see. They put you on the beach with a cocktail in your hand, and then they tell you, okay, so your itinerary is you go to Manchester Airport at 7:30 in the morning, and you've got to get there early, check in, and then you go on your flight, and you'll be upgraded to you've got a seats in economy, premium economy, or business class, whatever it is. You'll have an 8-hour flight, and then the other end you'll be picked up. So they tell the transportation. Then you get to your resort, you'll be welcome, shown your room. You then got 14 days. So the transportation after the transformation, after you've seen the dream, the end results. Then you want to know how you're going to get there. Make sure you do the same with your solution. Don't sell and demonstrate product before you've sold the transformation. Okay? So how do you do that? You recognize where they are now, the before. Where are they now? Where do they want to be after? And how is your product the bridge? And how do you sell the transformation? You don't. What? How do you sell a transformation? You don't. No. You get other people to do it for you. You get your customers to do it for you. One of the biggest failures I see on social media today is failed social proof. Cialdini, in his landmark work, a New York Times bestseller, The Six Principles of Persuasion, social proof is huge. And we all know social proof is massive. But 9 out of 10 companies, 9 out of 10 people on social media use it wrong. The so-called social proof is ineffective. It's not, doesn't work. Like here's one of the biggest fails is online reviews. One of the biggest fails. Online reviews, right? 5 stars and all the rest of it. First thing is 5-star perfect reviews are not credible. People don't believe them. They believe a 4.2 more than they believe a 5. There has to be some imperfection. That's the first thing. Secondly, reviews are faceless. There's no faces. People don't believe. This is one of the cognitive biases. There's no face. They don't believe it. The shortcut is there's no person there. We don't see a person. Okay. So you go, Jim B from Portsmouth. Lovely installation, nice fitters, great service. Thank you. That doesn't move anybody. And they've got 100 reviews like that. They wonder why nobody's inspired. And that's the same for so many people. That the social proof is poor. Let me give you an example, okay? A few examples now of social proof, okay? Now, let's give you an example. I'll show you. Okay, so Zoom, let's go into here. Now, okay. Right, so, okay, so social proof. Now, I've been a sales coach for 10 years. Okay, in those 10 years, I've built up videos.
This AI tool will create a
videos of, hang on.
What's up?
Hi,
Let's
Vera.
just kill that.
We brought you here today to let you know that we made the.
Sorry, the adverts, great, aren't they? Anyway, I've got video testimonials from tons of clients going all the way back to 2014, right the way up to today. 1 minute 21, Kevin Arrow testimonial for working with Paul Atherton. Stephen Cole testimonial for working with Paul Atherton. Madam Becky Adams, well-known business owner, testimonial working with Paul Atherton. Just continues, right? Tons of them from different people. I'm not going to show you them now, guys, because I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to help you, okay? But these are from different people, all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different ages, men and women, young and old, so that I can, when I'm with a prospect, I can choose somebody who I've worked with who's just like them, who had the same problems as they've got, who wanted the same outcomes as they've got, somebody they'll be able to see and think they're just like me, someone they can relate to and respect. And it's video. Video is the only content that produces emotion. Well, images to a degree, right? And if you're a great copywriter, you can do it in text, but video creates emotion and great storytelling. So you want testimonials that say, this is where I was, the before. This is where I am now, the after, the transformation. And this was how I got there, the bridge, Paul's coaching. So it's 1-2 minutes. This is where I was before. This is where I am now after. This is how I got there, the bridge. 3-part testimonial story. and you build up a collection of stories from all different kinds of customers, so you can match the testimonial with the customers that you're sat in front of you, whether it's business or B2C. And you must have a selection of videos so you can get your existing customers selling your transformations to your potential customers, and they will believe their stories better than they'll believe you telling them about how great you are. Guaranteed. So the first one is video testimonials. The second is LinkedIn and other online type reviews. Now, I'm just showing you this. I've got 60 odd on LinkedIn, okay? But I'm just showing you the first one here. What happens if you haven't got social proof? Where do you start? Well, I started back in 10 years ago, 2014. Okay. And as you can see here, I had a number that I got in that first month in January. Lots. January, December 2013, December 2013, December 2013. I had tons. Okay. How? I got really busy with offering people special deals. I gave people preferential treatment, special offers that were not going to be available later. Genuine scarcity, genuine special deals. And some I offered free sessions to, free coaching sessions to get them started. And this was the first I ever got, although it doesn't appear first on my LinkedIn, this is the first testimonial I ever got as a sales coach. A guy called Andy. And it was, I'll give you a free coaching session for an hour on Zoom, or it was Skype at the time, on Skype, if you'll give me a testimonial. You give me a recommendation. That was my condition. I knew I needed social proof because I invested in a coach. I left my 25-year direct sales career. It started as a coach, and I had nothing. No website, no online presence, no nothing, no leads. Nobody knew me, so I needed social proof. Okay, and I went out online on LinkedIn and said, "You need some sales coaching. You need some help. You got some transformation you need to sell more, you need to get people buying from you. Click here. I'm taking 5 people this week. They give you an hour free coaching in return for a testimonial." And I got my 5. And I had some time with Andy, and I said, "Right, have you had a good session today?" "Yes, it's been great. Send me a testimonial." And his testimonial was this: "I've never experienced such insight, enthusiasm, and lasting value in such a short space of time. 90 minutes Skype with Paul. No one has ever taken such an interest in personal and business challenges like this before. When he says he's 100% unrehearsed, unpackaged, and totally spontaneous, he means it. You can add altruistic to the list too. His suggestions are simple, clever, and compelling. I've attended 7 spin variation courses, and all they do is confirm the basics and make unproductive use of your time. Paul completely breaks that mold. No hesitation recommending him. Cheers." That was the first one I had. Okay, so that's how you start. That's how you get started. Once I got started, there was no stopping me. And then I got tons. And today I still, again, and lots of people here who are well known and well connected people. Okay. And the word spreads. And when you show people testimonials and recommends from other business owners, other customers just like them, who were where they are now, who had the problems they had, and who got the solutions that they want, who had the same doubts as them, and they tell the before and after story with you as a bridge. This one, David's a sales coach. After just a short time with Paul, he was able to drop some seriously thought-provoking and game-changing ideas on me that could really run with during a period when I was actively refocusing the target market and go-to strategy. Powerful stuff. David was a sales coach that worked with me. I still work with 2 sales coaches now. Okay? Every coach needs a coach. Every person needs a coach. We all need a coach to keep us at our best, to keep us accountable, to teach us new skills. So that's how you get started. Okay? But you need more than just a few. You need a good selection so you can show your prospects somebody like them who they can relate to. Okay. And here's another form of testimonials. DMs. DMs make great social proof. This was from a customer. And the last message he's got, evening, ka-ching. Magnificent, Keith. Thanks for the update. Well, the email shot wording is working. I helped him with his copy. We did live copy training. 2 orders in, so only 1 unsold day between now and the 25th of May. He was selling days training. He had hardly any days training when I first worked with him. But after 30 days, he had only 1 day in his diary unsold within a month. He was pretty much booked out. Now, those are DMs. You need to have DMs from customers. You show prospects DMs from customers. That's real. That's real, believable, authentic social proof. And have tons of them. Okay? Have tons of DMs. Right? That's what I've got. Show you here. More DMs. Paul, your Inception letter has saved my business. I'm serious. What with John being made redundant and COVID and all that, I was down to my last 1,000 and I was getting no leads or sales. But I sent that letter to my list and also got 2 JV partners using the email you wrote for me. From my list of 750, I got 13K. And from the JV, both coach influencers, I did 47K, which I split 50-50. I ended up with another 23.5K. Paul, your letter has earned me 36K in 2 weeks and my business has turned around. Hey, Paul, how much would you charge to do a script for me that I can turn into a webinar? You're awesome at copywriting. Thank you for your teaching. This is the first time I've gotten any understanding of the copywriting process. I'm excited to. So this is just one more example, but you need tons. Okay. Tons of examples. This is my social proof library. And as you can see, it's just, these are all DMs. Okay. All DMs. This one. Okay. So these are all DMs. This is a comment on Facebook. You know, when people comment as well, I would wholeheartedly recommend Paul, sales coach. What he doesn't know about sales isn't worth knowing. Keep all of your comments, keep all of your DMs where customers have told you that you've done a good job. Whenever they say to you, oh, that worked, can you drop me a DM to that effect? Can you just confirm that to me? And do you have any problem with me using that when I meet other customers like you want the same transformations? Nobody has ever refused. Nobody has ever said, no, don't show them. Nobody ever, out of thousands of people. I offer a 10x ROI guarantee. Paul Evans, a real sales rockstar. His 10x ROI promise is not just real, it's modest. Working with Paul, I've already achieved 10x ROI. By the time a full year is out, I believe I could have easily be at 50x ROI. Many sales coaches talk the talk, Paul walks the walk. Every sales problem I've faced, Paul has had the answer. Fantastic. Now, I think that's the end because I'm not, as I say, I'm not here to impress you, but I want to just make the point. Look, there's all DMs and posts. It's like, it's just endless. That's because I make it a constant, ongoing, day-to-day mission to constantly be getting feedback from existing customers and keep in touch with them. I also have a guarantee for 90 days that sees them through. I see them through to their results. I always make sure my client gets results. So all the way they're messaging me, how you doing, how you doing, how you doing. I keep them accountable. So that's also part of my service. So this is another key point for you guys to deliver results. Always deliver and make sure you deliver and keep in touch with the clients all the way through the delivery process and get their feedback, DMs, social proof, recommendations, testimonials all the way. They'll never refuse because you're constantly triggering reciprocity. You're giving them what they paid for and you're asking them feedback to show to other people just like them who need extra confidence to make the change. who had the same fears that they do, and you'll be helping them to change. Okay. So that, guys, is the power of real social proof. Okay, we're back. We're back. Here we go. Right. So that was a full demonstration of selling the transformation before you sell the transportation. Once you've then sold the transformation and you've demonstrated your social proof, then you can go in to your transportation. But here's just a little tip in the last line here. And this is how to present products, because people don't buy products or things. They don't buy objects, they buy feelings. So what you do is I say to them, right, you said this was a problem. You said, and I'll recap on the perfect discovery: problem, effects, root cause, fixes, emotions, cost of inaction, and I'll recap on. You said this was a problem. This is the impact. This is how long it's been going on. This is what you've been trying to do to fix it. This is what the cost is going to be if you do nothing. Okay, those are what you told me. Yes, yes, we will. We will do this together. We will do this for you. We will give you this. This is how we will do it. This is what we will do first. Then we'll do this. Then we'll do this. Then we'll do this. Anything you'd like to add to that? No. Again, a no calibrated question. Not, are you happy with that? Yes. Anything you'd like to add to that? No. Any concerns about that process? No. Any worries that that won't work for you? No. They've seen the social proof first. Most people to present the product first, the customers aren't satisfied because they haven't seen the social proof. They haven't been convinced by other people just like them that it's going to work. So they're resistant to the product presentation. You do the product transportation after the transformation, there's no resistance. They're sold on the transformation. Now they want to know how you're going to get them there. You said, we will. It's a great framework. You said, we will. You said, I will. You said, this will. And then you just continue that. So you're continuing this gap, the psychological gap between where they are and where they want to be. Instead of this, you will have this. Instead of feeling this, you will feel like this. Instead of it costing you this, you'll have this value. Instead of this daily experience, you'll have this daily experience. You're comparing before and after, constantly, before, after. The bigger the psychological gap, the bigger the tension, the greater the desire to solve it, the greater the urgency, and the more they will pay you to get them there. That's selling transformation before transportation. Huge. And you get other people to do the selling for you. So none of this involves pitching. You're not pitching, you're using Inception to get them buying. Now we move on to, so that's the second frame there, which is the emotional brain. Okay, the INC is about selling to the instinctual brain. Okay, the amygdala, the lizard brain. Am I safe? Am I in control? Am I comfortable? Do I like this person? Second one is, how's this going to make me feel? Is it going to solve my problems and achieve my goals? Yes, and the emotional brain makes the decision. Yeah, I want to buy. As long as the price is right, I'm going to buy from this guy or gal. That's what they'll do. They'll make that decision themselves. At the end of you doing that process, they will make the decision. So long as the price is right, so long as the price is less than the cost of doing nothing, so long as the lifetime value is bigger than today's price, so long as it's affordable, I'm ready to go ahead with this person. That's what those skills will achieve. Not 100% of the time. I've been in sales 40 since I was 7, but professional sales since I was 16, 40 years, 37 years. And I've never had a 1-in-1. I have had a 1-in-1. I've sold to 100% of people over 2 weeks, but not over any long period. Nobody ever sells 1-in-1, but I do get 1-in-2. 50% of people that have a call with me, that meet with me, that are serious, 50% of people work with me, and my clients get 50% conversion rate. Half of the people you see, or your salespeople will see, with this process, with this framework, with these skills, half the people you see will buy from you there and then as their own idea. Okay. The final three are selling to the logical brain. Okay. And the next is in the Inception process is I. And the I stands for if. And it's the smallest word in all of selling, but it's the most powerful word. One tiny little word with a huge power, if. It's the power of the hypothetical. If I could, if the cost of the solution was cheaper than the cost of doing nothing, would you hesitate? No. If the lifetime value was bigger than today's price, would you hesitate? No. If I could, would you? If I could, what would you do? This is what, where, why, who, when, and how. If I could, what would you do next? If I could do this, if I could get the price right for you, if this was affordable today, when would you get started? If this was affordable today, who would this benefit the most? If this was affordable today, why would you want to get started? If this was affordable today, why would you want to hesitate? Yeah. If this was affordable today, how would you want to get started? If I could, would you? If there was a way to, if creates a sense of safety. It's easier to answer a hypothetical question than it is to answer a real question. So by using if makes it safe to answer and therefore gets the buying brain thinking, right, let's pretend. If means let's pretend. If means assuming. If means supposing. Yes? The power of those questions when you're setting up, getting feedback from your clients. If we could get the numbers right for you, if the value was right over the long term, yeah, would you hesitate? What would be a good next step for you? How would you want to move forward? If, then you finish the question. That's the power of if. So powerful. And it's also key to Inception because you're not saying, will you buy? You're saying, if this were the case, what would you do? If this were the reality, how would you move forward? Okay, we're on the home straight. Two more. The O is the objections mirror. The objections mirror. Now, what's this all about? Well, everywhere I look on social media, I see smart ass posts saying, when you get price objections, say this. When you get somebody saying they want to think about it, here's what you say. When you hear an objection, I'm going to go to a competitor, say this, and they give you smart lines, which is all ways of talking people out of doing something. I don't believe in talking people in or out of doing anything. I want to get them to talk themselves into it. So what you do is you mirror back the objections they give you. You just mirror it back. So you repeat the last three words they say back to them as a question. They're saying, I think I need to give it some thought. I'll say, need to give it some thought? Yeah, it's a big decision. Big decision. Yeah, because, and then they'll embellish, they'll open and expand on it. They'll tell me more. I need to know what the worry or what the lack of certainty is or what their concern is rather than before I try and answer it. So to go back with some smart lines, some silver bullet, you hear this objection, you say this, it'll work. Oh, well, I want to understand where they're coming from. So whatever the object, I need to get my other quotes in. I need to get some other quotes. Yeah, I've got a meeting booked with another supplier. They're not as good as you on such and such, but not as good as me on. And you just keep repeating back to get them to explain. And often in the expanding, they'll discover the answer for themselves. I want them to handle the objections, not me. And another key skill here is labels. So once I've got enough feedback from them by just repeating back what they've said, by mirroring back what they say to me back to them as a question, and they'll tell you more. Always, if this one gets under the radar, it's true inception. They don't think you're asking questions because you're not. You're just mirroring back what they've said, and they expand more. This is an FBI hostage negotiation technique, right? This gets people, this gets criminals and terrorists to give up weapons, to give up hostages, and walk out of banks where they've held people hostage, right? They walk out of banks after hours into the with their hands up into the hands of the FBI. If this technique gets them doing that, it can get your customers telling you more and buying from you easy. It's mirroring back what they said to you. So you mirror back. Now, once you've got a bit more information, you then use a label. And a label to where you say, it sounds like, it feels like, or it looks like. And very often in sales, you're using it feels like or it sounds like. It feels like the value's not quite there for you. Yeah, I'm not so sure about the lifetime value. I'm not so sure I'm going to get my money back. Okay, let's just cover that. So you've gone back, you've used the label. It sounds like, and then they'll tell you, and then you can use one of the other techniques. If the value was there for you, would you hesitate? No. So let's talk about price versus value. Then you can bounce back to one of the other 9 inception techniques. Use a label. It sounds like, or it feels like. It feels like you're not so sure about this. It feels like you're lacking certainty here. It feels like you're not convinced this is the case. You're not, so you label it. It feels like, it sounds like. Yeah. It feels like you need some more information on this. It feels like you need some more reassurance on this. It feels like we need to cover this again. It feels like you need more certainty around. Yes, I do. And then you've got how to answer it then. So all this advice on here's what you say to objections. Now you need to fully understand the doubt. There's no such thing as an objection. Okay, it came about. The phrase came about 100 years ago, in the early days of sales. Zig Ziglar and those guys, the early pioneers, and it was stolen from U.S. courtroom. Objection, Your Honor, and it was basically there to signal disagreement. But what we call objections, they're either statements, complaints, or questions. So this is where people just make statements, complain. Right, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. Yeah, compared to, it sounds like you're comparing it to something. If there's a label, a mirror, then a label. It's too expensive. Yeah, it's more than I was thinking. Okay, so it sounds like you're comparing it to something. There's your label. Yeah, I'm comparing it to what I thought it was going to be. Okay. Sounds like you were basing that on something else you saw. Another label. Yeah, you get the information out. Then you can handle it. So you use objections, mirrors, and labels to get them explaining the objections. And often in this process of them telling you more and explaining their feelings, they'll answer it for themselves. They'll say, but I suppose I'm just worried about nothing. Sounds like you're right. Another label. They'll often find the answers. Plus, they feel like you're helping them. You're not trying to sell them. Okay. Number 9, the N in the inception process is next steps. And this is all about, this is the close, if you like, but I call it the complete, because the phrase close infers the ending. Whereas when you agree a purchase, when somebody buys from you, it's the beginning of a relationship. So I don't call it a close, I call it almost an opening. But the way to do it with Inception is to ask for next steps. And you do that with a micro close, or so a small decision. For instance, with the company I told you about earlier that I'm working with in the double glazing company, the next step for them is, does it make sense to book a survey? That's the last final decision in the process. Let's review the agenda we agreed earlier. That's what they do. Let's review the agenda we agreed earlier. Make sure we've achieved all your goals. Yeah, and then you go through the full agenda. Then we did this, then we do this. Anything you'd like to add to that? No. Was that done to your satisfaction? Yes. And we agreed that's right. So you get all that and say, right, okay, sounds like we've achieved all your goals. Yes. Does it make sense to book a survey? Not, do you want to buy? So it's just, what's a good next step for you? Most of our customers book a survey. Or you can even talk about the three options, because it doesn't matter what you're selling, guys, whether you're selling B2C or B2B. Buyers only ever have three options. Ever. So you can talk about them openly. Now, because you've closed at the start up here, and you said to them, right, we're going to got this little game plan we're going to have, which is going to achieve all your goals. And if you have any doubts, if I can't help you, I'll tell you. If you've got any doubts, you tell me. We don't say no to each other. Does it make sense to agree a definite next step? Yes. This is where you now agree the next steps. Now they're safe. So you're going to get the truth. So you can talk about the three options. Okay, three ways you can go. One is do nothing. But you've eliminated the status quo up here. So you say number one is you do nothing. Number two is shop around. Make sure you can't get the same quality, the same value from another supplier. Three, get started with us. Get started with me. And you go for a micro decision. So for me, when I'm working with clients, I say, does it make sense to book our first call? If I'm working on sales coaching with people one-on-one, it makes sense for us to book our first call. Or if they're joining a group program running, I say, does it make sense for me to add book in your complimentary first session in the group? That's the micro, the small decision, which is the yes. So what's your equivalent? So one is do nothing. Two is try and find somebody who can give you the same value as I can, same transformation for less. Give you more value for less, right? If you feel that you absolutely need to do that. The third is you can get started, and then you go for a micro decision, a safe, small micro decision, which means yes. Now, by talking about the three options openly, you can do nothing. You can try and get the same value for cheaper elsewhere, or you can get started. That gets you truth. Now, doing nothing, following this process, people say, doing nothing is going to cost me more than getting started with you. So that's not an option. Okay? So that's not attractive to you. No, they talk themselves out of it. You don't talk them out of it. Secondly, is it appealing to you, the idea of trying to get someone else to give you more value for less cost than I can? I won't be offended if you want to. I'm quite happy to work with you if you want to do that. Well, I'm not sure I'll get that. I won't have the same guarantees you have and all the rest of it. I've never seen anybody go away and come back to me and say I could get more for less. What I have seen is people that go away and then they invest in sales coaching that has failed. Lots more money, by the way, people spend tens of thousands on coaching that has failed, where people have not delivered. But nobody's ever come back to me and said, I got greater value for a cheaper price ever in the 10 years I've been. Nobody's ever done that. If you want to be the first, I'm happy to work with you on it. Guys, people they won't challenge you on it if you've delivered on these steps. Okay, so there's only three options. Do nothing, keep shopping, or get started. What's a good next step for you? What makes the most sense? I don't want to convince you to do anything you're not ready to do. What's the best next step for you that your future self would thank you for? Get them to make the call. And then finally, okay, what happens if they don't make a decision? What happens if they stick to it? Oh, I want to think about it. I'm not ready. Then stick with them. Don't kill it. Stick with them. Some people just need time to think. Work with them. But don't ever leave it open and then chase them with follow up. Amateur follow up it's everywhere. I see it all on social media. Follow up, the fortune's in the follow up. No, it isn't. The fortune isn't in lowering your status, chasing people. Have you made a decision yet? Have you made a decision yet? I'm still here. I'm just checking in. I'm just following up. Oh, right. You lower your status, and they hate it, so they go into hiding. Don't do that. When somebody, I can't make a decision. I'm just not ready. Cool. let's continue to work together. So the next step is we'll agree to meet again on a future date and time after you've had enough time to complete your process, when you've made your final decision. Yeah, how long do you want to do that? Let's book a time, because I'm not going to be available for you to randomly chase me, and I won't make you do that. That's terrible customer service. So I'm not just going to give you my number and say call me when you're ready. That's terrible service. Plus, I'm not going to chase you. I'm busy. I'm a professional like you. I've got a life. I'm not going to randomly chase you. Let's not do that to each other. Let's keep our relationship going professionally. Okay. Let's book a day and time. Either I'll revisit you, or we'll have a Zoom call, or I'll call you on WhatsApp. Which works best for you? Face to face, video, or on the phone. We'll book a date and a time, and then we'll chat again on that time. Get your final decision and plan next steps from there. If that's the case, do it that way. And then honor your agreement. You're never having to follow people up. You're simply, it's not amateur follow up, it's professional follow through. There is your Inception 9 steps. Now, I also promised a bonus of 7 copywriting secrets, but I've been nearly 90 minutes on this, guys. So I'm not, and it's 2:55 a.m. in Bali here right now, and it's what, nearly 9 p.m. in UK. So if you have had enough and you're ready to bail, that's cool. Respect that. We'll conclude. But if you are happy to crack on and hear the 7 copy secrets, I'm happy to crack on. We'll come back to that in a minute. We'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, got some messages saying carry on. A couple of people saying they've got to go. Right, let's come back to that in a minute. All right. Okay, so what have you just learned? What have we just done? What have we just learned? Well, you've learned, one, to sell to the instinctual brain first. The survival brain, that amygdala, sell to the instincts and their identity first. Next, sell to the emotional brain, who's the decision maker. You've learned how to do it. I've just given you the exact how-to formula. And then finally, sell to the logical brain, who's the executor of the decisions, the one that justifies the emotional decision with logic. You've had all the ammunition to sell to all 3 brains. Mastery of this whole brain selling framework causes them to feel a sense of authorship of all decisions, which means they feel like they've authored the decision. They feel they've decided. They feel they have bought. They have not been sold. They have not persuaded. This process is the culmination of 40 years of study of 20th century and 21st century sales techniques. All the greats, all of hundreds of thousands of books I've read, the thousands of appointments I've been on myself in all different industries, the thousands of salespeople I've worked with and learned from and taught, the study of psychology, all the personal developments I've done. These are the 9 number 1 secrets of 21st century stealth persuasion that absolutely will transform your sales today, no matter where you're at. Okay. All of that equals more sales with less stress. Now, additional takeaways. Tell me in the chat if you want the slide deck, copy of the slides, send it through on the email. If you want the video recording and of the whole session, the whole 90 minutes, and if you want the written summary and the highlights of the session, I'll send them all through to you on email. So you've got those to access at your leisure, watch again, read, study, practice. Okay. Let me know in the chat with a yes if you want those. And I'll send those on email through to you. Okay, yes, yes, yes. Everybody does. Of course you do. All right. So we'll do that. Yeah, loved it. Terrific. Okay. Glad you've enjoyed it, guys. What's next? Final thoughts. Did you get your one thing? Did you get your one thing that I asked for earlier? Yeah, got it. And some, got more. Got more than I was asking for. Oh, I did. I got it. Over delivered. Great. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to just send you a little poll to launch. So that's the poll there. Can you see that? Yeah. Just give me a nod if you can see that poll. How well did I deliver against your goals today? 0 to 4, not at all. 5 to 7, some but not all. 8 to 9, completely. 10 over delivered. Okay, guys, that's terrific feedback. I'm waiting for some more to come in, but those of you who have voted so far say, yep, got it, delivered. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, awesome. Right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. Yeah, that's okay. So you all get what you wanted. Right, terrific. Now, who wants to know and learn more? Who wants to know how to learn more? Always. Yes, yes. Love to know more. Yes, please. Okay, cool. Let's do it. So, what's the next steps? Here are the next steps. And what I'm doing, guys, is I'm drinking my own Kool-Aid. Isn't that a phrase? They use that phrase. That's what people say. Drink your own Kool-Aid. I'm following my own advice, as I always do. Always try to. Okay. Next steps. Here's the next steps. You can stay as you are. Okay. Been an interesting session. Got some ideas. Staying as you are has a price. What's the cost of inaction? What's the cost to you of doing nothing? If you do nothing, you've been here this evening, you've joined me, spent 90 minutes learning some skills, learn some new ideas. What's the cost to you if you go into 2025 with the same sales mindset, skill set, and tool set that you've got right now? If you do nothing, if you stay as you are, what does that look like? And how does that feel? What's the cost of inaction? Where are you right now in your lead generation, in your conversion rate, in your average order value, in your net sales, and in your income versus where you could be? If you could generate leads at will, if you close 50% of your sales appointments, sales presentations, 50% of your leads, if you increase your average order value, if you had all those things in a row, you could create leads at will and sell 50% of them. What's the potential versus doing nothing? Then the second option with me is to try one session. Okay, just dip your toe in. What's the price? What's the value? What's the price? What's the value? Okay, well, one live pay-as-you-go virtual session, and all my one-on-one, by the way, all my one-on-one coaching is pay-as-you-go. I don't have people paying me thousands. I've done that in the past, but these days I don't need thousands. I don't need your money. I need your transformation. Okay, so we will do it one call at a time. So we have an hour on Zoom together to go through the Inception sales process, to script it to your product and your customers and your business. And we make those nine skills your own. We give you your own sales process, personalized to you, scripted for you, to your personality, to your sales team. We can also create the copy or content to generate leads. Okay, we can do both in different sessions, but with the hour, we'll work on either your copy to generate leads or your content or your sales process and personalize it to Inception. Okay. You'll also then get full recording to keep. You'll then get 30 days WhatsApp support. Even if you just have 1 hour with me, all of my clients who have 1 hour with me, you get 30 days WhatsApp support. So you can text me anytime during those 30 days with any questions, any bits of advice you want, any ideas you want to run by me. You can get support that way. And then you get a double guarantee. What's that? Well, if you have an hour's coaching with me, and within 30 days, what you've got to do is you've got to take action. So if you've turned up and then you've put the work in and done what I've recommended, you've implemented what I've recommended, and within 30 days, if it's not worked, it's been a waste of time, you just tell me, I'll give you your money back. No quibble. And you've got all my social proof there to see. You can see it all. Okay. Never had one customer do that, ever. I've had people not implement what I teach and not get the results, but they didn't come back and tell me. I just found out they didn't. They didn't do it. Didn't do the work. Didn't do what was taught. I've had that happen a few times, but I've not had anyone come back and say it was a waste of time. But that's not number one guarantee. You think it's a waste of time, I'll give you your money back. The second guarantee is a delivery guarantee, and that is a 90-day 10x ROI guarantee. So you will get that within 90 days of implementing everything I teach you, you will get 10 times what you pay me. So if you invest 125 quid in an hour's call with me, which is what it is, 125 for all that, altogether, all of that, all included, is 125 pound. If you've not got 1,250 in sales from that in 90 days, I will coach you for free until you have. So that's delivery. So if it's a waste of time in 30 days, you get your money back. If it's not, working with it, I'll see it through so that you get at least 10 times what you paid. That's your guarantee. And that's got a 100% success rate over 10 years. That's how you get started with me. If you want to do that, you just reach out to me on WhatsApp. There's my WhatsApp number right there, down there at the bottom. You can see that. See that better now. +62 85 875 241 002. That's +62 85 875 241 002. That's my personal WhatsApp. Now, you might have been on sessions like this before with coaches and influencers and God knows what else, where people have wanted to sell you something at the end, get your credit card and go and buy. I'm not interested in that. I mean, I'm not a charity, but I don't do this for the money anymore. I do this because I love what I do and I'm bloody good at what I do, but I still love it. I live in Bali. I'm not a multimillionaire. I still need to work and I want to work, but for me, it's not work. So you pay me, you get results. You want to have a call with me, just say, let's chat, Paul, before I book anything or decide on anything. You want to just have a call with me to talk about what your needs might be, what I might be able to do for you, for your team, on copy to generate leads, on the Inception sales process to personalize to your business, to your products. You want to have a Zoom call with me to talk about how I can help you, and then decide at the end of that call what you'd like to do. Absolutely great. At the end of the call, as I'm following my own advice here, the end of my call, we either say no to each other and part as friends, or we plan next steps. So you can do that. You can reach out to me on WhatsApp, +62 85 875 241 002, and book a session. or book just a call, a free call on Zoom. We can chat. In fact, I'd suggest you do that before you book anything. Just reach out to me. I'll give you a link. We can meet on Zoom and have a chat for half hour or so and talk about how we get started, and then we'll book a session. Okay. And then you can send me the money and we can get started. All right. Simple as that. The third option is that you commit, you go all in. You go all in for 2020, for Q4 and 2025. And that is with a program I'm going to be launching in the next 2 weeks. Okay. And this is what I'm calling the 30-day Inception Sales Mastery Program. Now, this is for those people who are ready to commit, not to 3 months, 6 months, but to fast transformation within 30 days. And this is what it consists of. It consists of 4 2-hour weekly group masterclasses, just like this, but with more emphasis on like hot seats. So you'll have open mics and you'll be asking me questions about how it applies to your business. And we'll be dealing with the challenges of it will work through each of the 9 skills in the Inception process. And we'll apply them live to your business with everybody watching. So everyone's seeing how this gets applied to others' businesses. And that process repeated is great learning. And we'll be doing that 4 weeks on the trot, 4 times 2 hours, a group session. Okay. Group learning can be so fulfilling and so transformational. So that's the first element of it. Group session once a week. It's great for accountability as well. Keeps you account. Is it okay if I build accountability into this and make you do what you promise? And that's another great advantage of working in a group. 4 weeks. Okay. Now, in addition to that, you also get one-on-one. So you get 4 weekly one-on-one calls. Okay. Now, if you've got a sales team, we could do this for your sales team. We could run 30-day Inception Mastery. Your whole sales team could have come on board with this. Okay. You can do it for yourself or your team. So you also get 4 1-hour one-on-ones during the month. So we apply everything in that session to your sales process. Okay. Same if you've got a sales team, apply it to each individual to match their own personality style. We take the Inception process, we match it to your style. So over the 4 weeks, you get to master it for the business in 4 group sessions of 8 hours in total, and 4 hours one-on-one with all the recordings to keep, where we personalize it to you and we practice it together to perfection. You also get 30 days membership of a community. I'm creating a group on an app called School, which is a great online community where you can get into the group anytime, ask questions, you can have accountability in there. There'll be extra resources, there'll be all in that group, there'll be all the recordings of all the programs I've ever run in the last 10 years. Okay. All my checklists, cheat sheets, workbooks, playlists. There'll be a massive resource library of sales tools, Inception selling sales tools, stress the selling tools for you to take advantage of in that group. And you go in there every day, ask questions, give feedback, reports on results, and that will all be in there as well. That's all included. You've also then got 30 days of one-on-one WhatsApp support with me. So you've got any questions in between your appointments as you go, as you're implementing all your stuff, any challenges, just message me and get one-on-one. You get the same double guarantee. If at the end of 30 days you think it's been a waste of time, so long as you've turned up for the sessions and done the work, if it hasn't worked, I'll give you your money back. No quibble. Okay? And if you're happy after the 30 days, it's great, but you haven't got 10x your results yet, at 90 days, I guarantee you 10x results. So I guarantee you will make extra sales to at least 10 times the cost of the program. What is the value of that? Now, I'm not, every time I go online and I join into masterclasses myself, and seminars and workshops, I see the presenters they go into their offer, like I'm doing with you guys now. They go into their program, which they're trying to sell me, and they tell me what the value of this is. 4 times 2-hour weekly masterminds, that's worth 5 grand. 4 times 1 hour weekly one-on-ones, the value of that is 3 grand. 30 days membership of a community online, that's worth 1,000. WhatsApp support, that's worth 700. And they give me all these notional values that they've created, what the value is. I'm not going to do that. I can't tell you. I'm not here to tell you what the value is. You need to decide what the value is to you. It's about your cost of inaction versus the cost of action. So this is just a rhetorical question. What could be the value of all of that process if it unlocks your full sales potential over the next month, the next quarter? It's going to take a full quarter to. You won't get the whole transformation in a month. You get all the skills and all the practice. And you'll start to make more sales in the month, of course. You've seen my social proof. You get instant results, but the full transformation will take you 3 months, 90 days. So you go into 2025 working at your full sales potential, generating leads at will, closing at least 1 in 2 of them. What is the value of having that ability for the whole of 2025? To be able to generate the right number of leads and close half of them. What's the value of that end result to you in 2025? The reason I ask that is because the cost of that 30-day program is only 751 quid with a 10x ROI guarantee. So you're guaranteed after 90 days to have already got 7,500 back before 2025. Right? That's what you're guaranteed. But that program that I'm going to be launching in about 2 weeks' time, I'm doing another one of these sessions. And incidentally, I'm not going to have 100 people in the program. That's pointless. I can't serve 100 people. And I'm not interested in stacking people high to try and earn hundreds of thousands. I don't need hundreds of thousands. I want to get 20 people maximum in this program. Plus, I can't do more than 20 times weekly one-on-ones. Okay, if I get 20 people in this program, I'm going to be fully booked out. 10 people would be perfect in this program. 10, 15, perfect. I can give everybody the teacher-student time. Everybody can be involved. There's a good environment, good atmosphere, a good variety of people all learning from each other, and all the one-on-ones. I can deliver all of that. So there'll be 10 to 20 people, £751. Again, that appeals to you, but you want to chat more. There's my WhatsApp, +62 85875 241 002. Reach out and let's have a call before you decide anything. Let's have a call to talk about how that could work for you, what you need for your business, for your team. So whether you want to stay as you are, you get my full blessing. I wish you every success. My door is always open to you. Whether you want to reach out, have a call with me with the idea of booking a session, great, reach out. Let's have a chat about how that could work. Or whether you're interested in the 30-day sales mastery program, it's going to start in a couple of weeks. Let's chat more about that. I'm here to help you decide on what the best solution is for you. Okay, so we've been 1 hour 45 minutes now. That's a thorough session. So we've got a few people who need to go, and some more messages from people saying they've got to go. So I've got to say to you guys, thank you for your participation this evening, and I wish you every success. You got the number to reach out to me there. I'm going to send you the recording, the slides, and I'm also going to send you the copy Inception skills that I didn't get time to do. Okay, so I'm going to send you those 7 copy Inception secrets. I'm going to get those over to you on a video recording. So you've got a video recording of me talking and walking you through those 7 copy secrets to help you with your lead generation. Okay, and well done for joining me on a Sunday evening when you could have been watching the Antiques Roadshow You join me instead. You invest time in yourself, and I salute you. So, every success, much respect, and I'll speak to you all again very soon. Bye for now.